Okay, for chapter 11, the best problem that you can look at is going to be 11-7. It covers all of the computations that we will do for capital budgeting. So the first one here is Project A. Now they have us using the cash flow function, which is what I would recommend as well. So you would push your cash flow button. The 6,000 goes into your cash flow for year 0. You're going to hit the plus or minus button to make it negative and then push enter. Then your cash flows are the same. So again, that makes it a little bit easier because you have 5 years of getting $2,000. So you can put in your CO1 as 2,000, make your FO1, your frequency, 5, and then that covers that. And then you can go ahead and move on to your net present value button, where you will make your I equal to 14 and push enter, then arrow down and compute. Then you would move right over to your IRR button and then push compute there. So just make sure though that the future years of that cash flow function are zeroed out, but it does make it kind of easy to do that way. Then the next step over on this page here is our modified internal rate of return. And the key to that one is what it shows right here. You're going to go to our financial calculators, just use your time value of money keys. What it's doing is it's taking each one of those $2,000 and it is computing those as if we were saving those at the internal, or I'm sorry, not the internal rate of return, but the cost of capital. That's what makes it the modified internal rate of return. Because the bummer with the internal rate of return is it's assuming, if we come back over here, that all those future cash flows are earning that 19.86%. In reality, these future cash flows that are coming in over the next 5 years are more than likely going to be reinvested at the cost of capital. So then that's what we end up doing. So we put in that we have 5 cash flows of $2,000. So to do this one, I guess, is a little bit different than this one here. This first step, again, you can use your time value money keys. Your N's going to be 5. Your payment is going to be $2,000 a year. Your IY is going to be the cost of capital, which is 14. And then and then a 0 future value, you're going to compute, no, sorry, 0 present value, you're going to compute the future value. And when you do that, then you should get the $13,222.21. Then you come back to your second computation and do what they have here. So here it says, okay, if the future value of my cash flows at the cost of capital is $13,220.21, no payments in this computation, and I invested $6,000 today, what is my modified internal rate of return? So you can see that one's a little bit lower. Then you want to do your payback computation. So again, up here, this one actually makes it look a little harder. It's actually pretty easy. If you just take your $6,000 that you have invested. Ooh, that's nice and dark. And then you divide that by your 5 years, or I'm sorry, not your 5 years. You divide that by your $2,000 a year. That's going to give you 3 years. So then you really don't have to go through whatever cash flow function they're doing. It's just straight math for that basic payback period. Whereas then when we come down to our discounted payback period, again, those look a little harder to follow, but basically what you're going to do, maybe I can see if I can bring this back up. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to compute the present value of $2,000 future value at the 14% IY for each year. So then your N is going to be 1. And then you would put in the future value of $2,000, 14 IY, compute that present value. Then you'd go out and say, okay, my N's going to be 2, future value of $2,000, IY of 14, again, no payment, and then compute the present value. And then you'd find that you're going to get these values here. If I can come back over here and say, okay, whoops, didn't mean to do that. I've lost my, where I was at. Okay, so if you come over here, I'll use my pointer. If you when you computed that first one, you would get this $1,654.39. Then you'd get $1,538.94. Then you'd get $1,349.94. Okay, then once you do that, then you're going to go ahead and run those cumulatives. So then you're going to say, okay, well, at the end of year 1, I have the 1,754, and I would leave off the cents just to make it easier. Then we come over and say, okay, year 2, then I'm going to have 1,539 if I round it. And then if I go to year 3, I've got 1,350 if I round that. Year 4, 1,184. And then year 5, I've got 1,039. Then all you need to do is run that cumulative total here. So, you would take those two, and add them together, then just keep adding all of those up. And then if you come over here, then you're going to end up with, okay, it's going to take us 4 years, plus we're going to be into that final year where we're going to get the $1,039. All we need is this 173 to get to that payback period. So we'll end up being at 4.17 years. So that kind of gives you all of those that you're going to need to do. And then obviously we would move on to project B and you would do that same one. Okay, then again, you want to get real comfortable though with the other one we have is number 10. You want to get real comfortable with the net present value and then calculating our internal rate of return, because I'll have you do that with all of the projects. So we've got, here shows you, the reason I like number 10 is because the cash flows are not the same every year. And you can expect on your test that they may not be the same every year. So then here it shows you though what you're putting in. So again, you're going to hit your cash flow button on your calculator. For project A, it's $400 today, so that's your cash flow for year 0. Put in 400, hit the plus or minus button to make it negative. Then your first cash flow that comes in is $55, and then that frequency is going to be 3. So this would be your CO1, and then your FO1 is going to be 3. Then your CO2 is going to be the $225 here, and then your frequency is going to be 2. Then you'd come over to your net present value button, make your I equal to 10, and then compute. And you'd see you have this positive net present value. Then we would move over immediately and do our internal rate of return and compute that as well. I always do both because they pull right off of the cash flow function, so you might as well. And if I skip over to number 12, that's what they have done there as well. They compute the net present value and then go right to the internal rate of return. So look over both number 10 and number 12. Again, using your cash flow function and getting comfortable computing those. And then number 7, though, is going to be your best one to study because it covers everything that we need to know for the test.